He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Welcome to The Angle, your hub for all things in the sports betting world.
You got me feeling lucky. I'm putting everything on black.
Let's bet it all. Double or nothing.
We can't lose.
We can't lose.
We can't lose. Hey, we made it.
Now, here is your host, Dylan Leake.
Welcome into The Angle, and we are going to be going over some best bets for you. 3-1 in my first week of best bets for you guys. Going to try to give you some more winners here in college football. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on your picks for this weekend, and let me know what you think of mine. Also, go check out my NFL best bets video as well. I've got one great play up there already. On to our plays of the weekend. We're going to start with the Miami Hurricanes taking on the number 10 Louisville Cardinals. The Louisville Cardinals come in at 9-1. The Canes come in 6-4. So, of course, we're going to look to the Canes here. And they are a 1-point favorite despite having a significantly worse record. Why are we doing that? Well, Louisville has all the pressure on them in this matchup. Louisville, 9-1. If they win this game, they clinch a berth in the ACC title game. Now, they likely will get in the ACC title anyway, but they don't know that for sure, and a win will seal it. They're not used to that kind of pressure. So Louisville, a lot of guys not used to playing in a game with that weight on their shoulders. That's point number one. Number two, Miami has an elite run defense. They are one of the best run defenses in the country. In fact, they're giving up less than 3 yards per carry over the last 4 games in ACC play, just 3.2 yards per carry. They've been outstanding. They've only allowed one team all year to rush for more than 138 yards. So the Canes are going to make Jack Plummer, the Louisville quarterback, throw the ball. And if he can't beat him with his arm, the Louisville Cardinals have no chance. And the reason he will not be able to beat them with his arm, first of all, this Louisville team is not a throwing team. But number two, Jack Plummer, awful on the road. 16 touchdowns to 9 interceptions overall in the season. In the 2 true road starts he's made, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's attempted 85 throws in those 2 games. So the 2 games, they were forced to throw the ball 40-plus times. It was bad news for Louisville. They had a 3-point narrow win against a bad NC State team early in the year. And then a couple weeks ago, they lost outright to 1-win Pittsburgh by 17 on the road. Give me the Canes in this one. They will pull the upset. Mario Cristobal will get a big win for his program. We're taking Miami minus the 1 here. Best bet number 2. We are going to go to a very ugly matchup, and it's going to be a battle of which team is more awful. We have the 3-7 Michigan State Spartans taking on the 3-7 Indiana Hoosiers. Both teams just 3 wins on the year. Both teams having terrible seasons, and they're going to battle each other in Indiana for this one. The Spartans are catching 4 points, and the reason that is good for the Spartans is twofold. Number one, Michigan State actually has not lost to a team who has a losing record all year. Every team that has beat Michigan State has had a winning record. So that's point number one. Number two, Michigan State has the slightly better run defense and the slightly better run game. That is really important in a game that's going to be decided by heavy rushing attacks. Point number 3, we have the Indiana Hoosiers defense. Normally pretty good, but last week against Illinois, they were atrocious. They gave up 48 points, 14 yards per pass, 9.5 yards per play, almost 700 yards of total offense. It's just a really bad defense this year. They're down. And when you got 2 bad teams and I make this game a pick 'em, we're getting 4 points with Michigan State. We're going to take the points. This is going to be a Slobberknocker, and we're going to find a way to get to the window. Might be a 3-point loss, but we're going to cover, take the Spartans plus the 4, maybe a little sprinkle on the money line. Best bet number 3, and we are going to go to the Sun Belt Conference. And yes, if you want to watch this game, you're probably going to have ESPN+. But we're going to look to the Old Dominion Monarchs taking on the Georgia Southern Eagles. The Monarchs come in 4-6, the Eagles 6-4, and yet we are going to look to the underdog here. We have the Monarchs catching 6, and this time of year I love to look at the schedules and dig into the numbers, and what the numbers show is that the Monarchs of Old Dominion have played a significantly tougher schedule. On the other side, Georgia Southern coming off back-to-back losses. Yes, Old Dominion has lost 3 straight themselves. However, when you look at the strength of schedule, those 3 losses came against Liberty, Coastal Carolina, and James Madison, teams with a combined 27-3 record. Now, last week, Old Dominion did get smacked by Liberty, and that's their one bad loss of the year. But besides that loss, the rest of the season, they have not been blown out in a single game. All of their losses have been 3 to 4 points, and their 3 losses in conference, aside from the Liberty game, have come by a combined 11 points total. Georgia Southern's last loss, on the other hand, came at the hands of a 5-5 Marshall team who was playing with a backup quarterback, and yet the Eagles still failed to win the game. So we are going to look to the Monarchs here. I believe they are a little bit better team, a little bit better yards per play margin, a little bit better strength of schedule, and we're catching 6. It's on the road. Old Dominion trying to get bowl eligible. I think they have a shot to win it. A lot of sharp money on the Monarchs this week. So give me the Monarchs plus the 6. Book that one as best bet number 3. And for my final bet, we are going to look at a late game. It's going to be a Pac-12 After Dark special, and we are going to go where Game Day and ESPN refuse to go this week. We're going to Corvallis, and we're going to look at the Oregon State Beavers taking on the Washington Huskies, and I'm going to tell you why I like the Beavs in this one. Number one, we got all the pressure in the world on the Washington Huskies here. They're 10-0 and undefeated. They have to win this game or they will not make the college football playoff. All their hopes and dreams have come down to this game. If they're able to get through it, they're likely going to the Pac-12 title, which will be a de facto quarterfinal game for them. If they lose, though, their season in terms of college football playoff hopes is over. Meanwhile, Oregon State, very underrated this year. Undefeated at home, 8-2 on the year. They actually control their own destiny to go to the Pac-12 title themselves if they win this week at home against Washington, pull off the road upset next week against their rival in the Oregon Ducks. They actually will go to the Pac-12 title. Oregon State, what do they do well? They are physical and they stop the run. What does Washington do poorly? They are bad against physicality. They have a terrible front 7 defensively, and they can get run all over. There's been a lot of teams that have had plenty of success running the ball well against Washington this year. In fact, Oregon State, number 2 in the country in rushing success rate. On the other side, Washington, second to last in rush success rate defense in the entire country. Oregon State's going to run it early. They're going to run it often, and they are going to get an early lead and lean on that run game and that elite offensive line. Washington's offense will be stuck on the sideline for much of this game, and that will be the difference. The Huskies are going to finally have their first loss of the season after dodging bullets the last few weeks. Give me the Oregon State Beavs as they pull off the upset over the Washington Huskies in Corvallis. Those are my 4 best bets. Once again, we've got the Oregon State Beavers minus the 1. We've got the Old Dominion Monarchs plus the 6. We have the Michigan State Spartans plus the 4. And we have the Miami Hurricanes minus the 1. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below who you're taking this week. Let me know what you think about my picks. As always, tail, fade, or just watch. Good luck to you all. Have a great college football weekend. I'll be back with some more NFL best bets soon.